Good evening or good day to all APM community and those new to the research here listening. The APM podcast is being launched today with the first of a three-parter, a conversation with FPV and myself, Junipers. We aim to create a podcast weekly discussing all things APM and encourage questions or topics from the community. You will be able to direct these towards my private message in Discord. The hope is to liaise with other team members who will contribute perspectives and discussions to the podcast in the future and build on real-time decodes and conversations. In the spirit of our ancestors and in salutation to the Creator, this APM podcast aims to encompass deeper understandings of the research and relatable current affairs. So, grab a brew and let's have a blah. Hi FPV. We've had a few decent chats recently, which has led us to the idea of a Q&A session in the hope of arousing new interest and igniting ways to elevate Operation Rainbow Warrior to the masses. This list of questions is also designed to aid APM Research and FPV with his book regarding the last 7 or 8 years of research. The community are also eager to know the minds and hearts of the APM research team a little better and to understand the workings of the realm, enabling the translation of living in modern times into the wisdoms, teachings, and movements of our ancestors, unifying our spirits, and hopefully finding our connection to the glories bestowed by the Creator. Okay, maybe a little background of what led you to begin the research, FPV?
Hello Junipers, and yes, we have some fantastic conversations, don't we? Right, some background. Hey, that's a lovely intro, by the way. Very nice intro. So many topics and subjects, isn't there, that the intros seem to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah,
a little bit of background.
Subject matter probably helps. Right, a bit of background on me. Okay, I can't tell you too much about me because it's not about me, but you can tell you some background on the avenue that brought me to these conclusions. In 2015, well, previous to that, I'd been researching politics and all kinds of stuff, and I could see they were all doing, especially in UK and the States, the politics mirror each other. What they do, we do. So we're following their suit kind of thing. And I could never understand why, because there's so many mistakes and things going wrong with their decision making, and I thought, it's not making any sense at all. And every now and then you would hear something about one of them going to Antarctica. It never crossed your mind much, and you think, probably just a visit going to the penguins. But no, once I found flat Earth and Antarctica comes into this, then it started making a lot more sense. There's something bigger going on here, and everyone seems to be missing it. So, okay, we looked into flat Earth. Well, I looked into flat Earth. And I did have a friend accompanying me we used to moderate a news stream, a big news stream on YouTube, just as a hobby, something to do, I got dragged into it. But anyway, it was me and Cat's Eyes. We used to moderate a stream, and I started going down the flat Earth route. We were actually following the Trump's, the stream was following Trump's presidential election. The first is, the previous one. That's what the stream was covering. So I was interested anyway, just to see what was going on. And a lot of people were asking me, because I wasn't American. There's a lot of Americans asking me, but I thought, who would you vote for? And I said, well, clearly your best choice is going to be Trump, because these other people are going to take you to war constantly, the warmongers. But anyway, me and Cat's Eyes, I was following all these flat Earth channels, just monitoring it and watching, and had a go at debating some of the Globers, and I realised that, not the Globe, sorry, I was having a go at some of the flat earthers. I thought it was funny at first, until I realised I couldn't debunk this guy. It took me 5 minutes to realise, wait a minute, there's some serious things going on here. So that's what kind of got me into it, and I thought, well, okay, if this is not a spinning ball flying through space, what is it? And what's creating those luminaries and moving them? And who created the mechanisms that are doing that? That's what was crossing my mind right at that time. And I thought, this has to be technology or something. I wasn't actually serious. I was just crossing my mind. I thought, this is going to have to be technology for this to be something other than rocks floating in space, because, you've no other reference to anything you can use for that. Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, then we're going to have to, I think we'll have a look down the routes. What were the ancestors teaching? What's all this sacred geometry mean? Is there other ways it can be taken? Is there any technological references within it? That's what I started thinking about. I've got to check all this sacred geometry, scriptures, things like that, and see if I can find any connections that would suggest technology being involved. And lo and behold, it's everywhere. Yeah, I started seeing it everywhere, and I thought, wow. How have we missed this before? And it starts becoming so much more familiar the more you look into it. You start recognising the technology and knowing how it works, after time and studying it. So that was what brought me. Sorry,
was there a eureka moment?
Yes, there was, yes. Oh, yes. The Nazca lines, when I was using decoding the Nazca lines. Sorry?
Was that your first decode?
It was, yes. Nazca lines were the first avenue I was looking at, really. I was looking at other things as well, but the Nazca lines had my attention, because, I've looked at them before, and not trying to work out what they were. I've just thought, it's amazing. These big, giant glyphs all over the place in deserts and crossing mountaintops and everywhere. And when you look at the mainstream, the people's theories of what they thought it was, none of them made any sense. It was all aliens, UFO, blah, blah, blah. But when you've debunked the globe and outer space and aliens, that's all fantasy talk, so you can rule them out straight away. So then I'm looking at them thinking, well, okay, is there any technology hiding within the Nazca lines? And lo and behold, I started noticing different types of antennas. I thought, where? Is this for real? Antennas in the Nazca lines? And yes, there is. There's a few different types of antennas in there. And then I started looking at the certain glyphs, and I could see how it could be used, like, to high frequency, like high voltage, things like this, high frequency. Like the birds, you could use them as a high frequency. Birds high frequency, animals low frequency, because they're on the ground and the birds are in the sky. I'm thinking along them lines now. Are these representing like frequencies and waveforms and things?
The condor and the eagle being an example.
Yeah, there's lots of birds, and then you've got ground creatures, and you've also got marine creatures, which you suggest, would be correct, your subsonic frequencies. So the whole frequency range is kind of there in glyphs, and that was interesting in itself. And then when I discovered the Nazca Sun Cross, I couldn't get a very good picture off Google Earth of it, because they've made it really hard to see things on there now. They're making it hard for you to discover things like that. But I did find an image online which someone had taken. I can't remember the guy's name that put it online. But, you'll find copies of it online of various people's uploaded it there, what they've drew of it. So I took that, and I overlaid, you'll see the 6 halos crossing over this grid that I made. I decoded the 6 halos from somewhere else. I've never told anyone how, and I'm not going to, because that's unique to me, and they don't need to know that. But I've placed them like I did, and so you got the 6 concentric circles on a grid of 144 squares. And I think, this is something very, very amazing we're looking at here. This is what they would call a class 1 geoglyph. It's very done with high intelligence, but what is it? What does it represent? So I thought, well, I've got to put this on a map. So I started putting the grid over different maps. There was at the time there was the pizza maps were getting pushed around, which I knew quite quickly in those days was this information map. It's designed to hide east and west. I didn't realise that at the time, but after decoding what's going on at the international date lines, I realised how they were trying to hide it with these maps. But yes, once I put the Nazca grid on the Mercator map, it started making a lot of sense, and I just scaled it right until certain things started aligning correctly on it, and then I could see where the international date lines were, and some of this grid was going outside of it, east and west, north and south, and I thought, oh, you couldn't make this up. And that's when I had a eureka moment, when I looked at it, and it was like a million little bulbs came on in my mind. And I could see everything, how it worked, how they faked World War II, you name it. Everything flashed through my mind how this works. In a split second. You see that in movies, and it's nothing like what they show in movies. It's quicker than what they show in movies. You see you see a lot of things faster than what I've seen them portray in movies. And you can absorb it and access it at the same moment. It's weird. But that's what that was a big eureka moment, the biggest I've ever had. I mean, you're always going to get eureka moments in this, aha moments all the time, but not one as big as I got that day. And I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I'm questioning myself now. Am I really discovering this? Is this for real? And it's just, ever since, it's just kept proving itself. I won't elaborate too deep on it all, because it's probably better in a book, this story. But, that was the eureka moment. That was definitely the biggest eureka moment I had, because I could see it all, the past, present and future. Everything flashed in my brain at that moment. I could see the good of this, the bad of this, how what can and can't be done with it, or how it's been used in the past and present, and how it could be used in the future. But, there's where you have to pull the reins in a bit. This is not our technology. Whose is it?
Yes.
It's the Creator's glory.
I'm getting the TARDIS moment coming across here, FPV. The TARDIS moment.
Yeah. Rose look gazing into the TARDIS. It's a brilliant reference, that, because that's what it feels like. You've looked into something that's just going to consume you the more you look. And it does. Yeah. It's consuming me, but I enjoy it. Yeah. And I'm always going to warn people, if you're going to look into this, expect to be consumed by it, because it never ends. I've been doing it for about 8 years now, and, all the team members looked in and doing it and still poking around with things. And it does. 8 years have gone by in a flash. So it will consume you. But, is the journey worth it? Oh, yes. Our ancestors knew this. We understood this a long, long time ago, which is what takes you down the route of politics, wars, and all the rest of it. So, you got to see how all that started and where all that came from and all the division that it caused. Yeah. So my revelations were that putting that grid over the map, because I could see everything in a split second. Hard to explain. I can't even prove that, but I think the work speaks for itself. And it's not just my work, I'm speaking on behalf of a team that's got bigger and bigger as we've progressed along, because I'm the first to admit I can't do this myself. And even today, we haven't got the team big enough to cover this, but we're slowly expanding. We're doing okay. I don't worry.
Yeah, there'll be a tipping point, won't there? And
Yes, it was going to. It'll become more public, won't it, and recognised and more aware, and then you're going places, which is the ultimate goal.
There's that question, of course, of the globe and flat Earth, and you're going to answer this very quickly, but are they the branches of the same indoctrination tree? I mean, that's linked.
Yes, yes, it is, because these people have to gatekeep every avenue. They've got to gatekeep and control the narrative in all these arenas. There's not just Flat Earth that they're doing it in. There's lots of arenas on YouTube or on the internet, and every one of them's gatekept because of this topic. You have to gatekeep all these extra subjects that come with it, all the sciences that come with, reality and what mainstream are telling us. So there's lots of channels and disinformation channels and sock accounts attacking you and things like this going on in the background. People don't see what's going on in the background like we've seen over the last 8 years. We know who's who in this community. Well, this community, in inverted commas, this arena. We know there you can tell their walk, and yes, you can spot the disinfo agents a mile off, especially when they're going out of the way not to promote you, but to try and get access to your content and then attach it to their nonsense that they're selling. That's what we've caught a lot of them doing. So, that tells me these people aren't here for the truth. They're here to make money and disinformation. So, yes, there is a massive divide in this flat earth arena.
Yeah, minions for the masters, I call them.
Lots of, there's lots of theories, maps and models. We've debunked them all. Ours works. We have never been debunked in 8 years. If it got debunked, I wouldn't worry. For us, there's more to this than just the map. The map's just part of this. This is something bigger than the map. This is what's below the map, and beyond the man's fake barriers is what this is really about.
Yeah, it's just a pinpoint that you started with, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
Why lie about the shape of the Earth? Why is anyone lying about the shape of the Earth? What would you say to that?
Great question. Yes, great question, because we've been asked that before, and once over we couldn't answer that. Now we can pretty much say because of how it works and who created it is why it's been hidden and lied about, because this is a technological construct. The Creator's glorious technology that over time have many names. Every culture's got a different name for it. The name we're using in modern times is angels. That is the technology. This is the technology of the Creator. This is the Creator's tools of creation, is what we're revealing. And then we get asked questions like, well, where's the Creator? We don't know. We can honestly say we don't know. Hopefully they're out there making more of this. We've no idea how big this is yet, but to put it into context, look at the sky, right? Not like the globers do, to point out a light in the sky and say this, you stand on a globe because you're pointing a light in the sky. That's ridiculous. Look at the sky, then start gauging the size of the diameter of the sky. How far does it go in all directions? Then you've got an idea how big the landmass might be. Because it doesn't matter how far out there you go, you're not going to find an edge. Do you know why?
You're going to tell me.
Yes, I'm going to tell you. Because if you found an edge, that would suggest you are floating on something, floating in a vacuum of space, which we know doesn't exist. It's impossible. Which then tells you this has to be an infinite plane. There's no other way around it. You arrive at that conclusion. This is unknown scale plane that we're standing on. We don't know how far it extends in any direction.
Eternal.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be an infinite plane. If you found an edge, then what's down there? What's it standing on? Common sense tells you it has to be
That's
infinite.
That's a question you need to ask. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good question, because not only people probably be able to answer that correctly. A lot of these maps and models are putting you in a contained model. They don't want you going beyond the date lines and seeing where the stars and the luminaries come from and go to. That's what the globe and the pizza maps are designed to do. They're designed to hide east and west, where these lights are coming from and going to.
More confusion.
Yeah. What they've done, look at the map and grid we use. If you look down the sides of Antarctica, you can see it's a straight line cut down both sides. They've took a bigger map, cut it in those locations, and wrapped it around a ball, invented Google Earth, and that's the globe. That's all they actually have. The globers have got Google Earth, a bag of cartoons, and a shitload of excuses. That's pretty much the globe.
Another circus.
It's gatekeeping, and these two factions actually work together in this arena, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. They're all attacking each other, and they're keeping it globe versus pizza map. It's a false dichotomy. Neither exist. And then if I see anyone displaying that pizza map, I know that they're an idiot. It's someone that hasn't done the research, or it's someone trying to sell you disinformation. There's no in between.
Yeah, a character, an actor.
Yeah, my advice to anyone, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. If you do your own research and do it correctly and honestly, you will arrive where we are on the map. You would never find the model because we've already decoded it anyway. But I can't see anyone else going down that route and decoding what we have when it comes to how this works.
It's a straightforward debunk of any of those theories, isn't it? Your advice would be go and do your research.
Yeah, don't get too much to attach to a map. I'm not attached to our map. We know it works. We know it can't be debunked. We've told them the data they need to debunk it, which would have to be, you'd have to cross the Pacific and use independent GPS captures yourself to prove you crossed the Pacific Ocean, because when it's rolled out level, half of the Pacific's in the east and half's on the west, which shows they've joined two different oceans together to make the globe. That's what they've done. That's where they put the cut there and wrapped it around the globe, around a ball. And this is how Google Earth works. That's how Google Earth works. They've took the images from this map where they've cut it, they've put it in Google Earth, and it's got algorithms built in that round the images off when you zoom out, and it eventually creates a globe. That's the only globe there actually is, apart from the soy ones you buy in the shops. So and that's what people think they live on. Perhaps they imagine if you zoom in on Google Earth, you can see people waving. Who knows? But no, that's the globe. That's all it is, a cartoon ball. And all the cartoons and fakery in space and all this thing that they're doing with the ISS, it's all to fake man's doing things up there when actually they were already here doing them themselves, like the ISS. It's not something man-made. It was already here. It's part of how the sun works. It's part of the technology that creates the sun.
I've got an ISS question somewhere, but I think it's further on.
Mm-hmm.
Now you want to sort of answer that one, don't you, about the equinox, etc. So the solstice, sorry.
Yeah, we'll get to them. Do them in the order, that you got the questions in.
How would you like to see Operation Rainbow Warrior grow? How would you like to see it grow? And I know we say everything will grow as it's meant to as well, so I get that, but you put it together for a reason. Would you like to elaborate on that reason?
Yes, the reason I made Operation Rainbow Warrior is it can include everyone in the world, because these rainbows are literally everywhere in the world. So it means anyone in any country, outdoors or indoors, you don't even have to go outside to do this, can help by capturing where the rainbows are and helping us put them on the map. And when we map them all, people's going to see a really big picture of where all the angels are. So that's an important one. It's probably the most important project because it's evidence and proof of what we've been saying all along. This technology resides below, and this is the signature of it, the rainbow. So that's why that one's important. And it's not just Operation Rainbow Warrior that's running, in case people thought we were just going doom with that now. It's not. We cover everything still. All the other avenues we're still going to be looking into and going further with them. Any decodes, obviously they're going to be connected now because everywhere this technology is, we're going to find a rainbow anywhere. And what that leads to is more research into these areas where we're finding them, like with your own discovery, Junipers, the star fort. We're starting to see an older picture here forming, aren't we? It's not just a modern thing. This has been going on a long time. People have been marking where this technology is for centuries, thousands of years. All the old markers are still here. These stone circles, your forts, your star forts, things like this. And even up to modern times, churches and cathedrals, temples, pyramids, they're all location markers for angel technology. And that's what people, this is going to give people answers everywhere in the world for what they're looking at. Because don't you find it strange, all this sacred geometry in every country, and no one knows what any of it means anymore?
Well, the insult to our ancestors is just astounding. And, how they were presented as idiots in caves,
Yes.
babies, not being able to grow or decipher things. And it's very obvious looking at, the geometry that our ancestors were highly intelligent and tuned in to how the construct works. That's very obvious. So people, they will start discovering this and reinvesting again in the ancient knowledge. So, yeah.
Yeah, it takes us back to our original roots. There is a creator, and now we know what the glory actually is. It's technology. It's always been technology. And back to that question again, why would they lie about the shape of the world? Because they want this. They want all this technology and the knowledge of it to themselves. So someone has copyrighted the creator's glory to themselves and monetized it, is what we're seeing. It's been monetized. We're paying bills for something that's actually free. Free and plentiful in this world. Yeah. It wasn't designed for that, was it? That's enslavement.
I don't believe so.
That's what I would call enslavement by taxation. But anyway, that's where Operation Rainbow Warrior is going, isn't it? We're going to awaken them to... There is free energy. It's everywhere. There always has been. The ether is moving free energy.
Absolutely. Now, when we're witnessing a rainbow, what are we really discovering?
When you see a rainbow, what you're seeing there is a torus field. The technology of the halo creates a torus field, and we see half of a sphere above ground, the other half obviously being below. And this torus field is what's they use to harness the electrical energy within the ether. They steer it and control the ether and guide it where it's needed, and the flow. Like you'll notice with tornadoes and water spouts, it's not just in the air, it's water. Water and air are full of electricity, different potentials of electric in different tiny, what they call atoms or particles. They've all got different electrical potential, and the way the angels manipulate that, that's the amazing science behind it. You would not think something like that was possible, but there it is, doing it every day outside your house. It's creating your own local weather and everything locally. So that's another beauty of Operation Rainbow Warrior. You can observe them in nature, and they're showing you how they create nature in your neighbourhood everywhere. Your winds, your rain, your snow, quakes.
With angels every day.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where you are in this world, you walk on sacred ground. It is sacred ground everywhere. It's not unique to one location, it's everywhere.
Yes.
And this is, part of a bigger picture. Remember, we're in a map that's got the north and south treaties and east and west date lines cut off from the known world to stop you accessing what's beyond there. So, these things are everywhere, and who knows how far out they go. We don't know. This might be a smaller part of something bigger. Our world, as we know it, could be part of something much, much larger.
The mind just boggles and expands. It's amazing. And I know we've had loads of conversations like this, but this is something that expands.
It opens the minds, it opens your mind. It's because that's what they've done. They've sealed people's minds off, removed the logic from their thinking by cartoons 24/7, what they call space, and all these agendas to hide this. The programming, it's all there. It's 24/7, constant. A globe in a classroom, things like that.
Yes.
It's all there to distract you from the reality. So this is what they've stolen from the world. They've stolen everyone's birthright. It's everyone's birthright to know how this world works, to know its true dimensions, which we'll probably never ever get, but it'd be fun exploring, wouldn't it? And who created it? We don't even know who the creator is. No one does. They may, maybe they never wanted to be known. I don't know.
Yeah, because the wonder would be, did our ancestors have any insight?
Well, you've got to be careful as well, because we could, if we start worshipping it, that makes us look very primitive, I think. It's not there to be worshipped. Yes, they should be honoured for creating such an amazing world. I'm the first to admit that. It blows my mind. I'm in awe. But yeah, where was I going with that? That's one of
It's
those.
to be understood.
Sorry?
It's to be understood and
Yeah.
caretake.
Yes. Well, yeah, it has to be. Yeah, you've got to be. I can't give it the words. I really can't. I'm lost for words on
As well,
that part.
that's a new one.
I'm lost on them words. That's going to be mine. Started wandering and looked out the window and I'm seeing the construct for what it is, and it's blown me away every time I think about it. I can't stop. You can't stop. Yeah, yeah. I am in awe at the glory. I see the glory. I know what it is now. Because that's something you'll never find. Ask anyone, what is the glory to you? Has anyone shown you the glory or proven it? I don't think they have they?
No.
They don't even mention it. They just say the glory. Well, okay, what is it? Let's decode the glory. What is it? Yeah. Well, we know what it is now, don't we? It's technology. Yeah. The big secret. That's the big secret behind all of this. All the world's problems are because of this, of what they're trying to do with this.
Yes, and everyone around the world thinks that this is normal to be born into and to generationally carry this taxation, this 9 to 5, this worry, this stress, this survival mode of empire trauma. And, thankfully, someone in the world asked the right questions, and that was you. So, and then obviously your team gravitated towards you. So today is another opportunity, I think, to capture the minds of those that need to tap into our ancestral knowledge again.
Yes, yeah, they understood it and they used to teach it. They lived this. They lived this life. It was normal for them to know this and understand it. It's only a couple of thousand years ago that all changed.
And with time frames again, we don't know, do we? With anything.
Yeah.
So
Well, the only thing we do know is the 400-year reset. So we can go back, jump back 400 years at a time. So it was either 2,000 years ago or less. I'm thinking actually less than that. It's easy to add time onto calendars they create and things, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's been floating around for quite a long time. But
that's when it all changed, when they reset the calendar. So whatever year that was, that's when all this changed. And I'm pretty sure they did invade just after the reset, which would make it easy to invade, wouldn't it?
Yes, vulnerability
the country's on its knees and food supplies are short and all the rest of it. Yeah. So that would be the best time to invade, which is, we're going into our reset now. Anyone invading now has got an upper hand, haven't they?
Yeah. Yes, parasitic entity.
Yeah, if they're to me, they take advantage of these resets, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing right now. They're getting things in place how they want them for after this reset.
Totally. I think anyone around the world should be able to see that right now. Let alone anyone with using APMIs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it does, you can see where it comes into politics and everything. That's the amazing thing about this. It covers all the topics of the world. It does. It covers them all.
Every tentacle is in every part of our lives.
Yeah, it is. And they're there 24/7 trying to erase history and book burn and all the rest of it to remove knowledge about this. That's what the agenda's been all along, is to remove all knowledge and information about this. They've invaded countries and destroyed their creation stories, stolen their codexes and burnt them, and we've helped them do it. Like Christians, they went to the States. They went to the States, and what they're doing really is, how it works is this: after they invaded Britain, within a few hundred years, they'd invented religion and started indoctrinating people with that. So all knowledge of this slowly but surely started getting eroded, to the point where no one knew anything about this anymore. And now they're beaten into submission with religion. That's what, and of course now you fight for that religion, and you're going to invade lands for that religion, and you install their system under that religion. That's what they've been doing. But religion's a lie. A religion is designed to hide this and steal the glory. Because what they've done with books is they've taken the angels, the technology we call the angels, and they personified them into books. And that's how people got so lost in this.
Indeed. I mean, religion has enveloped all the ancestral ways and converted them into that ingrained worship that you're just talking about, and literal personifications. But they do pose a stumbling block for many who discover the APM research, you know.
Yeah. And not just that, you know, they've got the royals as well, because that's another invention.
Yeah.
Where do royals fit into it? Well, they're just the modern day Caesars. They still work for the same company.
Another control form.
Yes.
Another taxation, another authority, another branch for people to get on their knees for.
Also used in wars for king and country, or queen and country, isn't it? You know, the
Yes.
people will fight for the tribe, they'll fight for their king.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time people started fighting for the Creator and what they stood for.
Yes, and their family.
Yes, yeah, the Creator stood for all things good. That's what this world's given us. This is the guy. We walk in the Garden of Eden, and they've turned it into a bloody war zone.
That's right. This is
all this division and divide and conquer that they keep doing. Your lefts and rights, your Catholics, your Protestants, your blacks, your whites, you name it. These people are causing lots of trouble between these groups that they invented. You know, in most cases, they invented these divides.
Yes, they did.
There was no divides before then, but now everything's been divided. And before they invaded, the world was clearly quite a safe and nice place to live. You know, you'll find artifacts in different countries that came from the other side of the map. And you think, well, how did that get there? Obviously they were trading or something. Yeah, yes. We were just trading like people do today still. But yeah, someone wants total control over all of this. And they want to play with it.
Fear factor.
They want to play with it. You know, they're playing God with the Creator's glory. The technology. They're playing God with it now.
Yeah, they have been for a long time, for sure, using us to do it. Now, going back to the religious beliefs, there's been a few questions put forward. So, how would you decode Jesus for those that have inquired?
Jesus was an invention by Rome to personify the sun. The sun's halo system, as you know, that's part of it. The halo that you see us in our recordings that people send in. That is Jesus, the sun itself. There's lots of different ways you can decode that as Jesus. I've seen other people do it in different ways, but to me, that is just a personification of the sun. You know, in your Bible, it will tell you the Son of God. Well, the word God, if you look in your Bible, means light. So it's the Son of Light it's talking about. And it'll tell you, Jesus walks on water. Well, that's the sun's reflection. There's lots of ways you can look at this and put it, now there's technology involved. You've got to look, well, how do they hide all this and personify it? What they're doing is personifying it to hide it. And this is where scholars are today still. They're trying to personify technology. They're doing it back to front. They don't realise yet, but that's what they're actually doing. They're trying to turn technology into personifications and make stories out of it that didn't exist.
Well, the AI story, isn't it? That, it's going to have a brain of its own, and it's going to overtake the world like Terminator. But it's being programmed, so it's always that it's not our fault. Shirking, the wizard behind the curtain scenario, and they push religion and monarchies and.
One thing they've all got in common, these religions, you'll find there's always a scene with a lady with a child being breastfed. That's the sun in a rejuvenation state, recharging. These are different ways they depicted this story of how this world works. That would be That one would come from, say, Egypt, Isis and Ra. This is where the ISS in the sky gets its initials from. It's Isis. Because Isis
Yeah.
is the female halo, which is Eve. And Ra is the male halo, Adam. So it's always a
Yeah.
male and female connection going on. And together, they birthed Jesus, the light that we call the sun. That's my decode of how they create the sun. This is this technology doing it, and in them times in Egypt, there was Isis and Ra. Well, it'd be Mary and Jesus. There's another way of saying it. Mary's the big halo. Jesus is the light. They're forgetting the father, which, I mean, it says Mary was a virgin, doesn't it? So, but there has to be a father. In this case, it's Adam, the technology that we call Adam, the smaller halo. That has to play a part in this. You can't,
Yeah.
this is a male and female scenario going on. It's a male and female creation story. It's all male and female energies. Electromagnetism is what it is.
Well, absolutely. That's why they're trying to dismantle it. I mean, what other parallels have religions got? With personifications, for instance.
The saints, what the Vatican's doing is that all of the saints that they turn into saints are actually, like churches and certain things. They'll have a name and a male or female name. They're actually location markers over the technology below them. The node markers, like a church would be a marker of a node under that location.
Yes.
So they're all marking angel rooms in the underworld where these halos are below us. I call them halos. What they are is in a big electromagnetic coil. This is what the real technology is and what it's doing. It's a huge electromagnetic coil. And you can either have it magnetic or electric or both. They can run independent of one another. So there's different ways, there's different ways and workings of them. Like in winter, Adam's obviously not running in winter because we've no heat, so the electric's not there. So we get all the coolness from Eve's halo. The female halo provides the cold in the winter and the water. She divides the matter. Her role is dividing matter, which is the female role in life. You divide eggs in your ovaries, divide and multiply. This is creation. This technology creates, and we're no different. I'm an Adam, you're an Eve. This is how humans recreate. It's programmed into us. And the technology is no different, really. When this is where you get these words like the sex and all these names and sexes and things in holy books. It's talking about the sex of what these are doing, not what people are doing. You have to, with holy books, remove people completely from the equation. This is about the Creator's glory that's been personified. So you have to take people out that were completely out of the equation. You've got to look at the book. These are stories of this technology is being named this, and this is their story. The Bible is a mishmash of probably 144,000 other books. Because I would say there's going to be one book for each angel. There has to be. If not, there should be. Because it was probably told.
Like a manual.
Well, yeah, it's the human's guide to the construct. All this stuff was being taught in ancient times. You look at, it doesn't matter what we look at, any topic we look at, ancient or even modern, it all relates to this same topic. It all goes back to this technology.
Muhammad, Buddha, Shiva, Moses, Noah, the Morrigan, the Dagda, my culture, and on it goes. And they're all references to deposits of nature or processes of nature, aren't they?
Yes, nature's...
And the creation process, every single one of them.
Creators' angels. They're the angels of creation. These are the creators' tools, and they create our nature. 24/7 they're running. Well, some of them. Not all, but there are cycles and timed events.
Yes. Now, our ancestral wisdoms as well have been labelled now today as paganism in parts of the world. Like, I'm Irish, so everyone says you're pagan if you're looking at your ancestral knowledge and understandings, or folklore or mythology, and on it goes.
Yeah, they don't want you to look at what we used to believe in before they arrived.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, how closely are they connected to the religious teachings, would you say? Example, the naming of saints, which you've just spoken about, um, but
No
the
difference.
hijacking of. Sorry,
Yeah, they're
go on.
no different. They're all just using different names. All they've done is called them saints and carried on with the story. They've turned
Yeah.
them into personified them into saints, and now people think that's all about people when it never was.
No.
I can't see any reference to people when I decode it looking for technology. All I'm seeing is technology and different names it's been given to, explain its process or what it's doing, or it's a male energy or a female energy. Depends what you're looking at. But it's all to do with
Yeah.
that. All the sacred geometry, glyphs, legends, myths, it all decodes the same. It's all the same thing. And what you'll find in the Bible, especially if you listen to Mauro Bellino's work, the Vatican translator, he used to translate, in 2017 he was telling the world then, the angels are technology. He called them robots. You could see, you could see he was decoding, translating technology from Old Testament. So Old Testament is not a religion. It's the human's handbook to this technology. And it's being converted from that into holy books, and Mauro Bellino is telling the world what he's telling them and decoding for them is not being put in these holy books. So they're completely removing the technological process away from the books. Which is, I've said that in the past, they have to be doing that. They're hiding it. And this is how they do it.
Creating the worship. Yeah.
Yeah, they turned it into worship, which, makes us look a bit primitive and that. The Creator would not want you on your knees praying over them. That is very primitive. That would probably be insulting to them. They didn't create this to force you on your knees to worship them. What kind of a creator would that be? No, this is a creator that shows love. They clearly recognise our intelligence.
And individuality.
They've created us as beings with this construct, and the Creator's handiwork created all of this. And yeah, how can you dispute that? Knowing what you know now and how the process actually works with this technology. It plays a very big part in us being created. Everything is reliant on this technology.
Yeah, expand the mind, open the eyes,
Yep, everything in this world relies on this technology to function and work. Every living being.
Do you think there's a simple technique to decoding that everyone can apply when looking at religious texts or creation stories, for instance? That simple technique, like, what would you answer them?
There probably is, because when I haven't gone through all the complete pile of books that you would have to go through to. Once I found it, I knew what I was looking for, and I didn't really pursue going down them routes any further in holy books. I didn't need to, because I'd already decoded
Male,
it
female.
before. Sorry.
Male and female election.
Yeah, it's going to be. I knew there's just going to be more of that, isn't it? So yeah,
that's my go-to.
So I would say look at our work and then read your book again. Yeah. Read the book again, it'll make a lot more sense. And you realise, Mauro Bellino told the world this. He said, there's more than one God in the Bible. He can see many gods in the Bible, so is that not pagan? It is, isn't it? Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as pagan. They're talking about, the Creator's glory is multiple gods of the underworld. That's what it's really meaning. There's multiple, yes. There's many.
Creators.
But they're the creator gods. Creation. Yeah, the ancients called them creator gods of the underworld and names like that. And so they're 100% correct. That's what they're doing. Obviously it's technology and it doesn't deserve the name God, in maybe a little g. But that's whatever the creator originally called them. Them names are probably long lost and gone. We don't, because the angels probably weren't the original name. These are more modern terminologies that we're looking at, because over time, I suppose they've had to develop the vocabulary to explain these themselves. Like you find in the Old Testament, you find broken bits, like in the Book of Enoch. You find bits and pieces, and then it'll go on to something else, and you think, well, no, I wanted to read more of that, but there's no more information on it. Where did it go? It probably did exist, and it's been chopped out of that, hasn't it?
Well, it's being stored somewhere, probably.
Or it was being taken wrong and removed. You know, if you don't realise
Yes.
what you're looking at and it doesn't make sense, people might start removing it out of the book because they're going to say, well, that doesn't make any sense, but only because you don't know what you're
Yes.
looking at.
Yeah.
So be cautious. You know, what's been put in there has been manipulated and modified to hide this, clearly. There's no other conclusion.
Translation. Yeah.
You can't come to any other conclusion, can you, with religion other than it's been designed to hide this by
It's a
personifying the
Jackanory
glory.
story. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, there's truth in there, but it's not about people. It's about the Creator's
No.
glory. It's about this world and how it works. That Bible is the user's manual on how this world works and the technologies in the underworld and what they do. But it's been personified and lost into stories. So, you know, how far into that can you read and get more out of it? I didn't want to waste any time on that because I don't think I needed to. We've already found what we're looking for.
Yeah. We've been done dirty.
And, you know,
Um,
there's plenty of other avenues we can go down to prove that, like all the sciences exist in this. All the sciences of our world exist in this, and the sciences in there people don't know about yet.
yeah. More revelations.
Hmm.
Is there any references to creation stories within the APM model from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales that you'd like to decode? Or is there anything that stood out to you at all? Maybe your heritage that you know of, or anything?
What I would like to do is get a person from each of those nations and have them do it. You know, I'll help them decode it and show them what it is, but I would like a person from each to do it. You know, we have 14 members, one covers each country.
Yeah, you know I'm on Ireland.
I was just going to say, there's another divide, isn't there? Bloody hell, islands.
You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, you know. We need one for North Island and one. Well, no, Ireland's one country. You know, forget this divide that they've put there. Chuck that religion and all that divide away a minute, right? All you Irish people, your land's been created by the Creator's glory. That's it. Shaped it into what it is today. That's what's sacred to you. That land is sacred to you. That's what you're defending and protecting. It's not what's on the surface, people. It's what's below. That's important. So that's what you're defending, ultimately. Now you know it exists.
Absolutely. And so you're going to put that call out there if anybody wants to look at their creation stories, or
yes, someone from England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and any other country can join if they want. Oh, they've all got creation stories and they all decode the same. So one from each nation. Step forward, come and learn what you can, and we'll show you how to decode what you're looking at. And you can tell the story. You could probably do local tours on where they are, couldn't you? They're everywhere.
You could. You could add quite a lot to your own video. Yeah.
You could.
Yeah, go as far as you want with it.
So I'm pretty sure everyone that looks into this. And there's another thing. There's a lot of Irish people in our Discord. There's a lot of Irish. Who says the Irish are slow? They're the quickest off the mark. They really are. Yeah. You're switched on. That's a good thing. You're all switched on. It's hard to find people that's switched on. In this world today, most people are walking around switched off.
I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that we had nothing to do with the empire.
Yeah, so. The good thing is you despise the empire the same as everyone else probably does, and yeah, and you hang on to what's dearest, your ancestors' knowledge and information and glyphs and tales and stories, because they're true. They're just about this technology. Yeah. So that's anyone from any of them nations. Step forward, please, and come and join in. Let's decode this and show the world what it's all about. You want to change the world? This is your moment.
Perfect. Now we're going on to space, and we've been led to believe that space is just out there, beyond our reach, meaningless to us on Earth, but also a fantastical aspiration for us to explore. Successfully brought to the world by NASA and other space programs, and financed by us, the people, as per normal. Question here would be, the first one would, what does NASA really investigate, FPV?
Yeah, good question. I think I've mentioned this before. I think NASA's real role is care and maintenance of this technology and helping, locate it, reverse engineer it and such. That's what I think their real role is, because it's not been spent in cartoon space, which we know is just cartoons and nonsense and flashy graphics and things. That's all space is. I was going to say this topic isn't going to last long, but why? This is what people need to realise. It is the common denominators. If these people are connected, if your country is connected to a space agency or attachments to one, if it's got nuclear energy, and if it's got particle accelerator ambitions or technology, they're working together with these other people, because these all relate to the Creator's glory. All those three topics are there to hide the Creator's glory and steal it and reverse engineering it. This is what's really going on, and the science world's starting to notice this now as well.
Yes.
This is not new technology they're playing with. It's been here forever. It's been here since nature's inception, is how I word it now.
Another gatekeeping, another research branch, another let's cast the net.
Well, the space part of it, see, they have to try and take the credit for things that's happening in the heavens. They have to say, oh no, that's us, that's one of ours, when it isn't. They can't do that. So they're lying to the public. They're taking the public's money, making cartoons, or like the ISS, the people floating around on harnesses and using green screens and augmented reality contact lenses and 3D models, and you name it. It's just theatre.
How's it really being manipulated? The whole ISS, spoof. I mean, how are they specifically?
There's different ways they can do it. If you see a scene where they're floating in space, well, that's just an aircraft in a parabolic dive. They dive and climb, and you get positive and minus G's, and that lets the passengers in the rear, they'll float around, which is what you see them doing. They're floating around in between scenes when they're playing climbing and diving, so that's easy to fake. Then you've got all the technology fakes going on, like like holding something in the hand that's floating like a ball of water or something. But it's graphics. It's not real. It's not in front of the hand. There's loads and loads of channels out there always highlighting the mistakes they make and how easy it is to debunk them.
It's being exposed left, right and centre, yes.
Yes, it has. So this is these people just pretending to be up there, pretending to be doing things and looking busy, but they're just faking what the light in the sky has been them when it's not. It's part of this technology doing what it's always done.
Robin Hoods.
Worse.
They don't give to the poor.
I mean, the charge sheet is going to. We haven't got a printer. We haven't got enough paper to do the charge sheet, officer.
No, it's the sheriff of Sherwood that I should have said. That's the sort of entity we're dealing with. Yeah.
Yeah. Being so far, how deep the lie goes, where the money's being, that people should think that now. Where's the money really getting spent then? Well, it's all getting spent below, because remember, they're now saying they've got 30,000 particle accelerators, which we know to be 30,000 angels of the Creator's glory, that they're now saying they own and create and built, which they didn't.
Dolan.
Yeah, they're already here. That's why Operation Rainbow War is important. We can put rainbows on the map somewhere before they go down below and pretend they're building something there like a particle accelerator, because we're going to say, well, no, it's already there. We can see the rainbow. Sorry, you're lying. We've already mapped it, mate. Sorry. You see how important this program is, Operation Rainbow Warrior. We can put rainbows on the map and know where they are before they even think they're going there to steal them and pretend they're building one below there. Because that's what it's going to show. It's going to show us where they all are.